supports reparations.
The NAACP is a bunch of coons, and they have done nothing.
Oh,
my
well, that's what you f***ed up. No, you just f***ed up. Nope.
I didn't. They talking
Actually,
about
no.
LGBT minorities, people of color.
Bye. No. Don't threaten my channel like that. No, we're done. Bye.
Yeah, it's his first time on it. It's his
last time.
I think it's dangerous because this kind of language makes people feel like it's okay to punch people like Connor, like Asian when they say nigger around you. Right? It's up. You shouldn't encourage this kind of behavior.
So let me answer.
If you care about having a society where people aren't behaving,
listen, he's Hispanic. He's got the pass.
I'll say whatever the fuck I want. I'll say whatever the fuck I want.
Let me.
You want to live in a society. People aren't randomly attacking each other in the middle of the fucking street because they're saying naughty words. You don't encourage this kind of behavior.
Say slurs in the middle of
I didn't fucking pass I want to. Who are you to give me a pass to say anything?
Freaking crazy! It's not about me giving you a pass. It's you're using a slur on
like you all just
that
were.
Can get him banned.
Like, it's not a slur.
Acceptable.
Hold on. In this context,
you just did it 10 minutes ago. That's why.
No, it's not a slur. Wait, hold on. Are you saying that all this time you guys have been saying a slur, and somehow this is now a problem because someone who's not black says it?
Yo, listen, like, N-word with the A, man. Like, seriously, like, you know, when are white people gonna get it? Do we need like another century? Do we need like reparations or some shit? Like,
listen,
like what do you need?
Hold on.
Do you need $300 in Venmo?
No.
Like,
I can give you this. When you go to random hoods in America and you say nigga and you don't get the shit beat out of you, that's when you can assume that you have carte blanche.
I mean, I was hanging out with people in Houston, but like,
I said random hoods for a reason.
Random. It has to be random.
It needs to be random.
Because for like God, I mean, since I was a little kid, there were different people that got N passes, and they would say it. But as I've always said to everybody, mileage may vary. But
can I say that Hispanic dudes randomly get the N-word pass for like no fucking reason? Like, is that not bullshit?
I've been in multiple fights with multiple Hispanic people for using the N-word, so I don't know what
that's really dumb.
about.
Yeah,
gotta control your impulse. Here, check it out. So, as someone who used to use it. Right, as someone who's used to use it, like I have no problem admitting it. Right, I did not grow up in like a good school and shit like that. This is just the culture that I was a part of. This was a part of my lexicon when I was in my younger 20s. Right, when I get upset, it might fucking pop back out because of where I was raised. Right, I have 100% like it's and at the same time though, I've 100% had black people challenge me for it. Right, and like hold on, you can't fucking say that shit. And depending on how it was that day was my reaction. Right, but it's not like I guess it's if this is my perspective and anybody of the correct color can come and correct me on it, right? But it's always whenever like a white person happens to say it, it's always like the meat of the fucking sentence, right? Whenever a black person says it, it's always at the end. You don't even fucking hear it, right? It's just like you barely acknowledge it. But at the white person, this is always like this is the meat and the fucking potatoes of the sentence. This is the main course of the meal.
Not true.
And that's not the way.
But that could also be the interpretation because like a white person saying it, that is a big deal, right? So like,
no, it's not.
But I've seen white people. Right? I've seen white people who have the pass who are able to say it, right? And no one fucking looks at them sideways because they say it correctly, right? As opposed to
not even. All
right, whatever.
That's true. What are you talking about?
No. If you're in the hood and a white dude says it, right? You look to the people who are from that hood and know that white dude, and they all look at it. Doesn't matter how he used it or if he used it correctly or not. They all look at his black friends, and if they start whooping his ass, you whoop his ass too. If they say he's cool, he's cool. That's how it always works.
That's 100% the way it was.
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with how well they used it.
Well, no. Why do any of you feel justified using physical violence against people saying a word you don't like? How stupid that is.
I don't care, right? I'm just.
That's like brain dead as fuck.
No, but even in those cases in which those individuals can do that, and you can say in that space that nigga's cool, let him leave that hood and use that same phrase, and his mileage may vary. It's always going to depend on who you're talking to. Some niggas are never going to be cool with it. Nigga, my dad don't let black people say them. I don't say nigga to my dad. It's one of my favorite words. Mileage may vary even with other black people. I've seen black people get mad at other black people for saying nigga, especially in the older generation. Mileage may vary. You'll never get a carte blanche pass as a white person. I'm telling you,
Chris Paul and
your mouth.
Okay, but can I say that's why I was so disappointed with GSU's answer? Because he was like, you got to do it in random neighborhoods. I was like, that's not going to happen.
When you feel confident enough and you go out there.
You said, when will white people have access? And I said, when you can go to a random hood and be like, yo, what's up, my niggas, and not get your ass whooped.
Okay, so 2,500. I got it. I got to work on my immortality. I got it.
Why is that?
Write it down.
Hold on. Like, why is this? Why is it acceptable?
Prime is like, why did this turn into N-word?
No, hold on. Why is it acceptable to you guys? So GSU topped off and you say, oh, you look to the other guys, and if they start beating them up, you start beating them up too. Why do you think it's acceptable
because it's about
to hit somebody for saying a word you dislike? Why is that okay?
I never said it was acceptable. I just said that's the way how it is, right?
Wait, hold on. But if there's a difference saying that's how it is, and if you partake in that thing, then hey, you're not only you're encouraging the behavior.
Over saying the N-word, right?
Then why are you pretending you would?
No, I'm just saying how it is.
He may have never been.
Wait, hold on. How do you know how it is? Wait, hold on. No, it's
he may have never been in a situation.
You said you look to his friends, and if they start kicking his ass, you start kicking his ass too. Right? So topped off, and you lose somebody who's never done that to somebody, and apparently wouldn't do it. Right? You're on here enabling and encouraging that behavior. What the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you do that?
I've never.
This is the kind of dumb shit that gets people put in jail.
I've also never actually hit somebody. I personally don't give a fuck. But
then why would you encourage the behavior?
I've never.
How would you speak about it like it's
you just did?
I spoke about it like it's a reality because it is.
It's a Okay, have you ever done it?
No, but I've been there when it's happened.
Wait, okay, did you think it was a good?
That's because I'm not literally the nigga walking up and stomping on this guy's face.
What you said is that you look to his friends.
And there was 10 other dudes around, right?
You said this. You look to his friends, and if they start kicking his ass, you start kicking his ass too. So this language enables that behavior. It encourages that behavior. It makes people fucking behavior is okay.
That's not just the N-word.
I think what you should do.
The culture context.
I think what you should encourage is people to call the fucking cops on people who do that shit and rat them all out. Get them all put in jail for having low impulse control and fucking up their communities.
I don't know. There's
if you want to do it, start doing it.
If there's a slur you call someone and that's not justified in that stance whatsoever, right? And you got your friends there and they're gonna beat your ass. You kind of deserve to get your ass beat. I'm sorry, right? I don't care what word it is.
Wait, what? Say that again.
Stupid. I'm saying, right? If you are ballsy enough to use a slur from a group you're not a part of in a fucking instance,
Dooby,
and you get your ass beat, you kind of had it coming. Sorry, man.
Hold on, wait, Dooby, we got to get you to come to the front of the congregation. No Solid in chat said, why is he fine with describing reality when it comes to women, but around the N-word, he's up in his feelings?
No. It's not about describing. It's not about describing reality. It's if you guys were saying, hey, this is what happens and it's not
good. Is what happens.
No, listen. So the language that you're using, right? The way that you're saying these things. If you were just saying, hey, this is what happens, right? That's a different thing. But it seems like you guys are encouraging this, laughing about it, as if it's a good thing. You're pretending. No, it is not a good thing. This is okay. Then why would you ask me that fucking question if you know the problem I have? Because you're encouraging people. You're encouraging people to beat up people that look like Asians, Connor, when they're in the wrong hood and say the word. That's the fucking problem.
Wait, Dooby, this doesn't really happen. If you say people that do this know they're gonna get their ass whooped. This is a Twitch comment. This is so annoying.
It's so fucking stupid. Dismissing emotional, irrational fucking behavior from your community.
Anonymous online, dumb as fuck, or not interacting with people in real life. These conversations don't happen offline. No.
It should be like if Connor came on here.
Like descriptive statement when it comes
to hold on. Wait. Let me ask a question. Connor, have you ever been in the hood? Like, why don't y'all let me say nigga? It doesn't happen. This only happens on Twitch.
Not randomly. Holy shit! But okay. Only happens on Twitch. Can we have Connor? Can we have Connor story time? All right. Mm-hmm. So I spent 7 months with some folks. They gave me the pass. We had fun. Yeah. All that kind of stuff. I would never do it with anybody else, right? And I did learn that almost the hard way, right? Because there was somebody who wasn't familiar, and I said it in front of them. They did not take kindly. Somebody had to back them off. And then I was like, oh shit, I can't be doing this everywhere, right? You know, it's a learned etiquette.
To summarize, the rule is, hey, if you're for some reason given a pass, you can use it immediately amongst those people. But outside of that context, you can never use it. Everybody understands it. This is crystal clear.
No, it's not understood by young suburban white men. And then it gets into the. Then it gets into. Are you kidding me?
Okay. Oh no, I'm absolutely not kidding you.
Do you think they know this instinctively?
I think
they were just born this way.
I think they know it because obviously they recognize that the only people that they hear using it are the black ones. I also think that they know it because I know that in those suburban areas, unless it's like literally exclusively white, there are gonna be black people around them, and them niggas gonna turn the hell up if they ever hear that word. Yeah. I know that they also know it, right? Like nigga, I was raised as literally, as I've said before, in an ex-sundown town in which I was the only black kid in my class, and in most of my classes, one of two tops, and them white kids knew lockstep. You say something like that, you will get the mess beat out of you. It was a regular occurrence, so it's not like this wasn't something that wasn't known. Like, freak out of here. What are you talking about?
Hold on. I want to make a point, though, because I don't think you're being logically consistent here. You're saying that they got their asses kicked because they violated the rule that you said they already knew.
Understand it, though. They tried.
Right. So there were some. They all knew better.
They might have learned quick.
They all knew better than to do it.
No,
but then just
learned quick and know is not the same thing.
No. They all knew better than to do it, but some niggas try to test you. For just like we all know better than to talk about somebody's mama. But every now and then, some niggas try to test you. We all know if you're with your woman, this is your woman. But some niggas try to test you. So in them situations where some niggas decided to test you, they got the mess beat out of them, and then they learned very quickly that ain't the nigga to mess with. It's really simple.
I have
a question.
Gambino said it the best. So he was at a Kanye concert, and it was all white people, and he said, and they all, nigga came up in the song, and they all said it, and they all looked at him like, "What you gonna do?" Like people know that the rule exists, but they'll still try to like push the boundaries and test the limits and like see if they can get away with stuff.
It's funny because
I got a question.
Dooby,
especially kids.
It's funny because Dooby is exactly the type of guy who would test you on your woman. We know this from past conversations. Quick question, but I do want to get to WhiteRice, who's been waiting quite patiently.
Yeah, I definitely won't drop another grenade. So the question is, so white people are like a group, right? So does that mean that white people get to say other white slurs for different kind of white people? Like, can we say like, Mohawk or potato eater or Nick?
No, you fucking don't, right? No, you don't, right? So let me tell you. From Jersey, right? You go to Hoboken and you call someone a wop, your ass is fucked. Don't do it. I'm also Italian, so I'm allowed to say that, chat. Fuck you. But, right? You don't do shit like that. It's the same rules.
No, that's different.
Yeah, but no.
No, it's not different. It's the same rules.
We gotta get WhiteRice a chance. He hasn't gone.
It's not different.
That is super different because this is actually something that I do. Wait, hold up. This is actually something that I do agree with Fanatiq on. That like he's 1000% right. Where your mileage will vary because coming from the Asian community, for some odd reason, Filipinos think that they could just say that word however the fuck they want. But everybody knows, like if you're around a black, it doesn't even matter if it's just one black person and there's a whole group of like Asians or white people there. They automatically shut the fuck up and stop saying it. I grew up in white neighborhoods. They all thought that they could say whatever the fuck they want. As soon as it got around black people, boom, it stopped. They automatically stop saying it because they know inherently you shouldn't do it. What's different about using the word that you use is that not all white people are just Italian. For some odd reason in the United States, we've always put all black people together. It doesn't matter where they're from, but we put them all together so that like, just like Asians have started to do, we've started coming together as like just Asians, no matter what we're like Chinese, Japanese, it doesn't matter. We've started to come back together. We've gotten rid of like the hatred towards each other. So from what I know, and black people on the panel can school me if I'm wrong on this, black people have come together as a community as far as like this word goes. Like they can use it, only they can use it. Nobody else is using it unless they give a pass specifically to somebody. But Italians are super proud about being Italians. Like
it's the same rule, but different groups, right? So if, for example,
but not all white people are Italians.
Yes, and I'm about to give an example, right? So I don't know if there is like a Haitian, but I assume if a bunch of Jamaican of Haitians said a Haitian slur, their ass is probably going to get beat unless it's granted access by their friends, right? I'm just saying, for example, it's the same fucking shit.
Right. So
it's the same thing.
I totally agree with you. You're right. It goes that basically within an in-group, anyone can use any sort of derogatory terms about that in-group with that in-group and never get any problems. It's only when you are outside of that in-group then that it becomes a problem. So the phrase that you use, that might be something that other Italians do because it's an Italian-specific thing. However, red, red. We can use that phrase. I mean, like white people can use that phrase. Like they would even put in their stand-ups. Where that guy, he had a whole comedy special on "You might be a red," right? Like, and he would like describe something that would be pretty derogatory, and he would say, "Yeah, you might be a red," right? And that was something that he could do. If a black person went and made those jokes, comedians get a pass very often, so maybe it might have been okay. But if they happen to be feeling ornery enough, they were probably going to give them some backlash on that. And if it was a non-comedian making a statement like that, oh, you best believe it was going to be problems. It's always, anytime any person says groups outside of an in-group, that it becomes a problem.
I do want to say, because I don't give a fuck about this word, everybody has like 100% carte blanche ability to call me a chink.
No need to say it. Not on Twitch! It's fine. It's
like, you can, but not on this channel.
Yeah, no. Outside of this, call me whatever you like. Okay. It's fine.
But okay,
Thanks.
go ahead. Dooby.
Yeah, don't call me that.
So,
I'm fucking around.
So, I think there's a lot of issues what's being said here. So first, I'm going to respond to something WhiteRice said. Oh, when the black guy comes around, they stop saying it because they know you just can't say it around black people. Do you think that has to do with like a racial stereotype that's been built up that black people are emotional, impulsive, and violent, and if you say a word around that makes them upset, they're going to punch you in the face because dumbasses like the people on this panel have enabled and encouraged that behavior and spoken about it like it's a good fucking thing, right? So
What is this
this isn't a reach at all. This isn't a
reality.
reach at all. So Connor, and just to respond to something Connor said, it's not like you using like racial slurs against white people. What they're doing is in effect saying that it'd be okay for you to joke, as a white guy with your white friends. Oh, that black guy's coming down the street. Aha, you just walk to the other side. That's okay. Clutch your purse, lock the door. Aha, the black guy's coming. Right. So this is, you guys are like, yeah, absolutely it is. Right, because within his group, it's totally okay to make those jokes about black people.
I love how we had an hour-long conversation making descriptive statements about women. We talk about the N-word for 15 minutes, and Dooby's on his high horse for
because you are encouraging people to use violence against other people because they say words that make them feel icky. Right? That's what you're doing.
I don't think anyone's encouraging. We're just speaking the reality.
What you're doing not only exposes your own childish thought processes. Right, but I think it's dangerous because this kind of language makes people feel like it's okay to punch people like Connor, like Asian when they say nigger around you. Right? It's fucked up. You shouldn't encourage this kind of behavior.
So let me answer.
You care about having a society where people aren't behaving.
Listen, he's Hispanic. He's got the pass.
I'll say whatever the fuck I want. I'll say whatever the fuck I want.
Let me.
If you want to live in a society, people aren't randomly attacking each other in the middle of the fucking street because they're saying naughty words. You don't encourage this kind of behavior.
Say slurs in the middle of
Give me fucking pass I want to. Who are you to give me a pass to say anything?
It's really freaking crazy. It's not about me giving you a pass. It's you're using a slur on
like you all just were.
Can get him banned.
Look, it's not a slur.
Acceptable.
Hold on. In this context,
it's not 10 minutes ago. That's why
it's not a slur. Wait, hold on. Are you saying that all this time you guys have been saying a slur and somehow this is now a problem because someone who's not black says it?
For making a description while you're
total fucking bullshit. I use the same word. I use the word in the same context.
No, Dooby.
So here's okay if you use that fucking word. I will use a fucking
word. This is why Dooby is anonymous.
No, Dooby. Here's the thing, and this is this.
It's never okay. Don't do that again.
Get it out.
Here's the thing.
I'm going to say whatever the fuck I want to. I said in the exact same context you did. So if it's okay for you guys to say it, it's okay for me to say it. You don't get to give me a pass. You don't get to give me a pass. I give me a pass.
Go there. You were mischaracterizing Top Dolphin. He was not giving a prescription that entire time. What he was giving was a description, as was phrased, as he said multiple times. That's the way it is. He didn't say that's the way it should be. That's what I would
laughing
recommend.
about it.
He said that's the way it is.
Why was he laughing about it? Why were you? Why did GSU said that it's not only the way it is, but that it's okay to do. It's exactly what he fucking said. You know that's what he said. You're being dishonest as fuck right now. If you want the past to be an emotional bitch and punch people when they say naughty words around you, just fucking say it. Don't wrap it around those fucking virtue signaling.
All right.
Okay.
Let me try to add, like, you were kind of directing that to me for a second, Dooby. So I just like.
Okay. All right. Well,
I don't think. Wait. I don't think anybody's like.
Before you say anything, guys.
Yeah.
Don't say slurs. Don't do it here. Don't do it here. Don't do it here. Look, beyond what my feelings are about this, I haven't even said anything, right? Beyond what my feelings are about this, Twitch TOS is a thing, right? And Twitch is like just fucking terrible moderation. And they will have collective punishment. So just let's pull back, all right?
So.
Okay.
Oh. So, like, I don't think it's that anybody saying that like violence because of language is 100% okay. But everybody knows the history behind these certain words that are used against certain cultures. And just like the black culture has tried to take their word back, the Asian culture tries to take our words back. I'm sure probably Hispanic cultures are trying to take their words back. Italians trying to do the same thing. The thing is, if you're using it outside of that culture, you don't understand and you don't know what it feels like to be in that culture. That is why usually if you say it, people will step to you and say it again. And when they say it again, they usually mean that in a violent way. Like, you say it again and some shit's about to happen to you. So don't actually say it again. Like, it's not okay.
So what we just learned is that you think that black people are the only people in this country who know what it's like to grow up poor and broken in the ghetto.
No, that is not the case.
And what we've also learned is that you think all black people have this experience, right? And only they have this experience with this fucking word. Total fucking bullshit.
No, you're
there are plenty of white people, Asians, Hispanics who grow up using this word colloquially their entire fucking lives in exactly the same context of Fanatiq or GSU or anybody else.
Most of the time, they're going to say it wasn't okay that they used it.
Total bullshit. What the fuck are you talking about?
I used it when I was a kid, and I know that it wasn't
good that people of all fucking colors sing this fucking word all fucking day because it's just how they speak.
Growing up, I used it, and I will.
This is why I have such a problem with the phrase "people of color," is because very often, like what it does is it like undermines like some of the unique, specific struggles that like African Americans had to deal with in this country. Because the thing was, the N-word was so particularly dehumanizing because it was literally used alongside all of this other rhetoric around the fact that they were literally codifying the fact that black people were not human beings. So with that saying, yes, you can say other people are marginalized, but I can say that black people have a unique existence with the idea, or a unique experience with the idea of a total lack of humanity that was codified and supported by our system. Right? So when there was a 3/5 compromise saying that we were 3/5 a human being, no, Hispanic people don't know that struggle. No, Asians don't know that struggle. So that's where the difference comes in. You can try your best to minimize the specific struggles of African Americans to try to say all people of colors have experienced things, while we've gone on to experience literally every other form of discrimination that also applied to them as well. That's something that's specifically unique, and attached to that unique experience was the N-word, which gave us a specific unique word. It was directed specifically at us, so that gave us a specific authority when it came to the reclamation of that word, which distinguishes us from literally every other culture. That's why it's specific.
So Fanatiq, so if a black person grows up in the suburbs and they never interact with any kind of racism, they're never put down, never called any racial slurs, do they just not get the N-word pass because, hey, they don't really have that experience?
Man, listen. What you're describing right now is an unrealistic hypothetical because I don't think there's a black I don't think there is a black person in existence in 2021 that has ever grown up and hasn't experienced a single piece of any sort of racism or whatsoever. Just by nature of being the only black person in that area, you're automatically going to experience it because.
Why would you assume they're the only black person in the area?
It just because you just said if they grew up.
They're suburbs that are like very diverse.
Who's your hypothetical?
Hold on, no, I didn't say the only black person in the suburb. Or when I think suburbs, I don't think, oh god, there's one black guy there and everybody else is fucking white. That's not how the fucking world works. There are plenty of suburbs in this country that are very diverse. There are tons of fucking black people, Hispanics, and Asians, and all these people living in the same fucking area.
No, he's fine.
Even if you grow up in a black suburb, there's a unique experience out there where you have to go out there and realize that the rest of the world isn't like that. There's a lot of unique experiences that come with being black.
and you're still going to experience all sorts of marginalization in the media you consume. So I guess if we want to extend this this hypothetical to what if it's a black person that's in an all-black suburb that has only black cops, that only happens to like experience specifically like hyper-controlled black media with only black teachers, such that they never interact with any other white people, then at that point did they experience marginalization? I guess in that kind of a world right there, then yeah, I guess I could give you
Why
that.
do you
But
think
I'm
you need
saying,
to create
I am
this
saying there is
fucking
not a
fantasy
black
world?
person born. I am saying there is not a black person born in the United States of America that hasn't experienced some form of racism or some form of marginalization. Now, does that mean that we're all victims? Does that mean that we all can't succumb? I mean, that we all can't overcome it? Does that not mean that we can't thrive? Not even in the slightest bit. But for me to have to try to imagine a world in 2021 where we have black people living today that have just not experienced any form of marginalization, when we know how rampant it is even in our freaking media, it's just unreal.
So I gotta move on. I gotta move on. So Salsa has his hand up. Then Connor, Dionysus, was it Top Dolphin? Anyone else? And GSU. All right.
Yeah. All right. Real quick, I just want to point out, because I feel like there's a huge difference, right? There's two words that we're talking about, not one. I hate that people talk about it.
No,
we're soft. No, shut up. I'm talking.
Externally, we're talking about one word.
Hold on. There's soft A and hard R. Now, like you could say that's entirely fucking different, but like in my experience, and someone correct me, I don't know a single black person that can talk and call another black person a hard R. Here, maybe you don't, or maybe you.
I do it all the time. I've seen it all the time. I don't know
all right. Well, maybe I'm wrong in this case, right? Where am I going to say it? But like in my experience growing up, I've never fucking seen that. Every time that I've seen it, it's been an instant fight, as if it was in a similar fashion. And I grew up in Florida. I grew up in the South. In the instant fashion, if someone called them a hard R, it's like you just don't call other folk that. That was my experience. That was the experience that I saw in my school, right? And that's it. I do have a question for like the other for black folk in here, and I guess it's going to be a yes then, right? If you ever seen a fight like break out or that Dooby's taking such offense to in regards to like if someone used like a soft A in that instance, right, where they said it, and like then do people start getting the fight off of that? Because that's another instance where I've seen where other people, they correct them, it's like don't say that shit. But if it's a hard R, it's an instant fucking fight. Those like I don't fucking know why people are treating that shit like it's the same fucking word. It's not. We have entirely fucking different dense sentences. Like it's like, why the fuck would you even Fanatiq? Like why the fuck would you even put like soft A inside your thing as opposed to hard R, right? Like why make that difference inside like your because we treat it, we like in the reality of the situation is we treat it fucking differently, right? Well, sure. I'm certain 100% if Dooby would have said soft A, we wouldn't like folk wouldn't have freaked out the way they did.
No, he did. He did. Said soft A.
No, you hard.
No, if you're not black, there's no such thing as soft A. It's interpreted, and that's why you get trash beat. That's why people that are frogs say this shit online and not real people.
This is why. I'm not going to. Okay, I'm going to try to be nice. I think you're encouraging leadership behavior that ends up leading to people going to prison.
No, I'm describing the reality of what happened.
Okay, all right.
So am I.
Let's go to
people
Connor.
that do this shit online, not real people.
Hold on, but Destin did this. He wasn't anonymous. He did the same thing, right?
So,
but Connor.
What GSU's telling me is if I set the N-word with an A in front of him, he'd feel like he needs to fight me. He would just need to fight like right there on the spot. Yeah, and he thinks that's a reasonable response. Okay. That isn't going to end up with him in prison, away from his fucking family for assault. It's a really stupid fucking behavior to encourage. Okay, if you want to be a man-child, then you fucking do it.
All right. No, hold on, white people. We're going to have to wait a little longer. So now I got to say it. Because I got some type of feelings about this too. And you're not gonna like this, but I'm actually I'm not co-signing everything, but on this one point I'm close to Dooby on this. I don't like the thought that like black men are thought of these violent creatures. You say the wrong thing around them, then it's a fight, right? Like I feel like it plays into like a really terrible stereotype that like maybe we shouldn't immediately like take it to violence. They're all kinds of terrible insults, right? That you can say to anyone. But like now it's like just in the culture that with black people, you immediately like violence will immediately ensue, right? And then we tell people, well, of course black people aren't violent. Why would you think that? But then we back this.
So do you think of women as violent savages because when you call them bitch, they'll slap you? You think of women as violent?
Most women, I'm sorry, most women don't respond that way. They don't. Some do. Some do. But this is not.
I mean,
this
depending
is,
on how you
this
use
is,
it.
hold on. This is not. This is not like some sort of universal thought, right? And let's be clear, when you're using that, especially a man using that to a woman, trying to demean her, he might also be physically intimidating her, right? Like, if she's not going to respond in the same way, she doesn't have the latitude to do all those things.
I think if you walk up to most black women and you call them a bitch, either they will slap you, or if there are immediate other people that are related to them in the vicinity, they will beat the shit out of you.
Look, I'm sorry, and I don't.
This is
and
real.
then again, right? This is what we're saying, that black people are these violent creatures that will if you say the wrong word, they'll attack. White people. Wait a second. Go ahead, Fanatiq.
Yeah. So look, I think that whole thing, I let it rock for far too long. This is why I hate panels. But that's absolutely a stupid mischaracterization. We all recognize that there are like specific buttons that in society that would result in violence. We all know that. We all know that there are, like, again, specific things that you can do. If a man has a girlfriend and you're sitting here trying to get at his girlfriend in front of him, there's going to be an altercation. You're basically challenging that man in that situation. We all know that we all have different buttons that we can push that would result in violence. It's not like black men are solely responsible for violence. So if any person wanted to try to use this as an example to give themselves license to start labeling all black people as racist, it sounds absolutely ridiculous. I'm not going to entertain that at all. Nor would anyone try to sit there and say, oh, this means that therefore black people are all just violent. No, that's stupid. It sounds like there seems to be a specific button that can be used to provoke people into violence. But to try to just say that they are by default violence is absolutely absurd. Now, there are no words that are equivalent for white people, but that's because there has never been anything they've never encountered and experienced as dehumanizing as what we've encountered. So as a result of that, we're just going to be in a different place, right? This word is more offensive because it was more used for a more abject form of dehumanization. So as a result, its reaction is going to be probably a little bit more significant. Like, and that makes all, it just stands to reason. In the same sense, you only get as much as you put out. Go ahead and put freaking $100 in your Roth IRA. It doesn't matter what the market does. You're not going to be balling off of that, right? Like, the more you put in, the more return you can get. So in the same sense, the more they use this word to dehumanize it to such an abject level, the more the response is going to be. I don't know how you could try to label black people as violent inherently because of this. And just to be clear one more time, because I feel like it hasn't been addressed, or at least it was spoken over the last time. What Top Dolphin, what he said was a description. He was saying, look, whatever you look and yada 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 yada, and you do this thing, whatever, blah 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 blah. He went on to say specifically, I've never fought anybody over. I've never responded in that way. I'm not saying this is the way that it should be. I'm saying this is the way that it is. So it's either you're being disingenuous or you're just trying to create content right now. If you keep trying to push him into this thing where it's like, oh, you're advocating for violence. Because anyone can
or you're misremembering what happened.
I remember specifically him saying I remember. Oh, I don't remember. Yeah, you're cutting me off. I remember him specifically saying the words, "It is what it is." I don't know, maybe if that's just a colloquial term that you're not used to, but what that phrase means is, this is a description. This is just simply how it goes. Not saying I advocate for it, not saying that it's justified, but it is what it is. The situation is as I'm describing it. That's called a descriptive.
Okay, let me know when you're.
I got you. I will let you know when I'm done.
Will somebody think of the white?
You'll know.
We understand your point. It's a bad point. Let me respond to it.
You'll know when I'm done talking. So, furthermore, also went on to directly say to you multiple times, I don't think that it's okay. I would never do it, and I have never done that. So if you're going to continue to go down this road where you're doing this thing where you're trying to paint it as if he is somehow advocating for bad behavior, you're being dishonest, and everyone can see through that now. It's been laid out. You can continue to do it if you want to.
Okay, wonderful. I'm going to continue to do it. Okay. So what Top Dolphin actually said initially was, "Hey, you look to the people around him, right, to his friends, and if they start kicking his ass, you start kicking his ass." And he said this in a jovial way. Then when I pushed him on this, he said, "Well, I've never done it." And I said, "Oh, well, when you say it like that, it sounds like you are encouraging this behavior, and then as if it's a good thing." And then GSU said, "Oh, it is a good thing." Right? So this is how we got to this.
But that was me, not Top Dolphin.
Yes, well, he was the one initially saying this, not just as a description of what happens, but what you should do, what you do. If someone else starts kicking this guy's ass, starts kicking Asian or Connor's ass for saying the N-word, then hey, then you start kicking their ass too, because that's just how it is. That's not how the fucking world works, right? So if the culture says that I'm supposed to murder somebody because they said, no, I didn't call him
Asian or Connor.
Say agent.
He said agent because
I refuse to use it's a shitty name. I'm sorry. Anyway. So
that's why I swapped
it. So the way that I think you should behave, right? The way that I think a normal, rational person behaves, is that even if the culture says I'm supposed to beat this dude's ass for saying a naughty word around me that people didn't like, hey, I'm not going to fucking do it, and I'm not going to encourage it. I'm going to say, hey, that isn't what you do. What you do is tell people not to beat this guy's ass because it's really fucking stupid, and some of them are probably going to go to prison, be away from their kids and their families. And that's a really shitty situation. So if I'm left to that, I don't lay it out as if it's something you're supposed to do. And then I don't encourage it. Instead, it's a good thing when it happens, like you did, GSU.
Don't engage with that. We already know exactly how it is. He's just going to continue to go down this rabbit hole. You can't convince someone who's already made up his mind.
Wait, hold on.
He's convinced himself.
Fanatiq, did GSU just not say that it was a good thing?
He's convinced himself that this is the way it is.
Fanatiq, did GSU say it was a good thing or not?
We have clear description.
Fanatiq, did he say it was a good thing or not?
I clearly laid out exactly what was said, so we know that this was not Top Dolphin's thing. He's going to continue to go down that
thing. Did GSU
say
that it was a good thing or not?
I would recommend anybody else. You can engage with it if you want to, but he's just being.
Fanatiq, did GSU say it was a good thing or not?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, okay, then shut up. GSU, did you say it was a good thing?
Top Dolphin.
GSU, did you say it was a good thing when this happened?
Your prime, what topic?
The answer is yes. The answer is yes. You did say this because you think this is acceptable behavior for adults in the society.
Listen, you want me to ask you,
again, because this is fucking stereotypical shit where people see black men as impulsive, violent thugs. Right? This is the kind of stereotype that you're pushing in society. Thank you, GSU. No, I'd like this behavior to stop, and I think you should stop encouraging it.
So, like I said, these are online problems. These are people that have frogs as their avatar. These aren't real problems. This stuff doesn't happen offline. Prime, I think we should just move on. Like, this isn't a real topic. This would never happen offline in a real
because you tried to fight me. I'd kick your ass and I'd call the cops on you. That's still what happened.
All right. Okay.
Online, baby.
Okay.
Internet.
That's why you're a frog.
Oh.
All
right.
Can I say a quick thing? So I just want to be very, very clear, right? I went and I described, right, descriptively, I said, like, if you're black in America, you know that, like, if you, like, colloquially describing a black person in America does certain things in a certain context, certain things happen, right? Then Dooby pushed back and said that, hey, Top Dolph, I don't like that you're supporting these negative things, right? I was purely being descriptive. I doubled down on purely being descriptive. His pushback happened, I believe, before Gambit even said it's a good thing. And you know what? If you want to push me on that and have a conversation, like, I don't care, because I would have said, hey, I don't actually do it, which I did. I said I don't do these things personally in my life. I don't care if people say the N-word. Like, who gives a fuck? It's a word. But that's not everybody's opinion. And also, we had an entire, like, hour-long conversation talking very, very descriptively how, like, the sexual marketplace with women works, and no one was careful with language at all, and you pushed back absolutely none. But the second we talk about the N-word, dog, you come out super fucking strong at the, like, minor misusage of, like, the word you.
No.
And, like, right? 100% is what happened.
I know that you know what the implication was. If you want to pretend you didn't, that's okay. But I'm going to ask you directly. Do you think that the behavior GSU is laying out, right? Someone says this word, it is a good thing to punch them, right? If they're white or whatever, they don't have the past. Do you think that's good behavior? Do you think that's acceptable?
Yeah, no, and I never said it was acceptable.
Okay, well,
and I never implied that it was acceptable.
Okay, all right. No,
you literally pushed me, right, and said that I was supporting this behavior, right? The multiple.
Yeah,
times.
I think the language you use and say, oh, well, you just look at his friends and then you laugh. Then if they start kicking his ass, you start kicking his ass. I think that absolutely.
Okay. All right. Look, let's end this. Let's just move on.
Oh, come on.
Let's just move on.
This is silence of the whites right here.
This is reverse racism.
Come on.
This is what it looks like. Yeah.
Oh my god. I was gonna hit Dooby. Come on.
It's fine. Look, we're done. Let's move on.
This is racism.
This is what it is. All right. Let's just move on. All right. So,
are we going to the actual topics now, or like what? Are we
we'll go to one anyway. Hello everyone. This is November.
Redo the intros.
We didn't even get
to them. Never did them in the first place.
No, I'm talking about like, hey, my name is Gambit.
Yeah, we never got to it.
Yeah, we never did them in the first place.
Come on, we can do that. We can do that in outros. We don't need a 60-minute reverie.
Okay, all right. Okay, look.